Watcher, and welcome back to Britain's Golden Era, where we look at different countries and regions of the UK through their food, as we believe that food is a gateway into an area's history, culture, and people. Today we're looking at 10 nourishing Northumbrian dishes, straight from every kitchen in the northeast. But first, a little about the area. Northumbria is a region which these days would be called the northeast. It is located in the northeast of England, which borders onto Scotland. It is known for its big cities such as Newcastle, its football with Sunderland and Newcastle United, as well as the Holy Island of Lindisfarne, and for having more castles than anywhere else in England. For film fans among us, the recent film 28 Years Later shot on a number of locations around the wider Northumbrian region. Without further ado, let's crack into the list. At number 1, we have Stottie cakes. Stottie cakes are hearty working class baked goods made traditionally from the scraps of dough that weren't used to avoid waste. The name is inspired by the Geordie word for bounce, as there was a belief that if thrown on the ground, the bread could bounce. The first recorded mention of a Stottie cake is from the Daily Mirror in 1949. Similar types of bread can be found in places like Sunderland, where they're called flat cakes. Typically, the bread is cracked open and a filling is given. This can be peas pudding, it can be bacon and eggs, or it can be something else entirely. The UK bakery chain Greggs brought the Stottie cake to the mainstream and widely popularised it across the UK. At number 2 is peas pudding. Peas pudding is a medieval dish with strong ties to the Northumbrian region, and also to the Stottie cake, sometimes called Georgie hummus. This dish is made from ham hock and split yellow peas, alongside a binding agent and spices. The history of peas pudding is fairly long. In the medieval period, this was widely eaten, as in the pre-potato age, dried legumes were a key source of nutrition for peasants. Back then, the dish was called peas pottage, and it was far thinner than what we currently think of. In the 17th century, the invention of pudding cloth allowed peas to be boiled alongside a piece of meat in the same pot. This transformed the watery pottage into a denser form. Peas pudding has links to the Quakers and is often associated with the Stockton to Darlington Railway, as it was used as a cheap, reliable food source for the workforce. A children's nursery rhyme is even constructed, which discusses the versatility of the dish. At number 3, we have pan haggerty. Pan haggerty is a comforting mix of onions, sharp cheddar, lard, and thinly sliced potatoes cooked until crispy. This was seen as a fuel for the mines and shipbuilding of the area. The name derives from the French word for chop, or so the thinking goes. At number 4 is Craster's kippers. Craster kippers, thought to be a favourite of the late Queen herself. These smoked and cured kippers originate from the village of Craster. L. Robson and Sons were the ones to popularise the dish, and continue making it to this day. The dish itself consists of an Atlantic herring, which has been cured without the use of any chemicals. It is then brined in a simple mixture of spring water and salt, before being oak smoked. Simplistically, perfect. Before the 1960s, local girls would be used for gutting and splitting of the fish, prior to the bringing in of machinery. They were called herring girls. The Robson and Son Smokehouse is now a Grade 2 listed building and stands as a monument to the area's fishing history. At number 5 is Parmo. Parmo, or Teesside Parmesan, is a northeast takeaway staple, and it is a take on the Italian-American food and dish chicken parmesan. Nikos Harris was a US soldier injured during World War II who was recovering in the UK. He enjoyed the northeast so much he decided to stay, and after he recovered, he brought his signature dish to the area. Sometimes pork, sometimes chicken. These are cutlets covered in a white sauce, cheese, and then grilled to perfection. They're often served alongside chips, and are served after many pub nights out. At number 6 is Northumberland ham broth. Northumberland ham broth is a traditional soup made with cuts of gammon or pork, as this was at the time cheaper than other types of meat. Other key ingredients are lentils, split yellow peas, and unlike with other stews and soups, the vegetable content is grated in rather than chopped. It is very often associated with Friday night, and is seen as a hearty, warming tea for the winter months. One of the interesting details about this dish is that you're supposed to be able to stand a spoon up in it. That's how thick the broth is. At number 7 is Floodies. Floodies are similar to a potato rosti cake. These are grated potato, grated onion, and often bacon mixed together with salt and pepper and a little butter for binding, and then cooked in a pan to form a golden brown patty. They were a defining breakfast of the navvies. These were people who built the canals and waterways of the northeast, and who would often eat floodies as a hearty breakfast. There were even reports of the workers cooking these on the blades of their shovel, but they have an older history dating back to the 19th century. At number 8 is Lindisfarne mead. Lindisfarne mead is a distinctive type of mead that mixes together honey and fermented grape juice. It dates back to the 7th century, wherein monks brewed this beverage on the island of Lindisfarne, as they believed it had medicinal powers and was a holy drink. It was said to have been inspired by Roman alcohol, where they would often add honey to cut through the sourness of grapes. It began full-scale production in 1962 and has since sold 2 million bottles worldwide. In 2006, this drink got in some trouble over in the US, as US regulators didn't like the fact it contained herbs and grape juice, and so didn't think it was mead. As such, it went by the name of Med, or MEDE, for a while over there. If you like us talking about the signature alcohol of an area as well as the food, then please do let us know. We're trying something out here. If you like it, we will include more of it going forward. Okay, time to late in the game shift gears here and talk about the sweet treats you can get in Northumbria. Remember, if you like what we are doing and like learning about the culture and history of different regions and areas in the UK, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. At number 9 is Felton Spice Loaf. Felton Spice Loaf originates from the village of Felton, and unlike other dessert loaves we have looked at, such as Barra Briff from our Foods of Wales video, or the Yorkshire Tea Loaf from our Foods of Yorkshire video, both out on the channel now, this loaf is not made using tea at all. It is also a lot quicker to bake than the aforementioned loaves. Made with dried fruit, butter, milk, sugar, flour and eggs, and with the secret ingredient of almonds, this loaf sets itself apart. It was first recorded in Peggy Hutchinson's 1935 cooking book, and is a staple of high tea in the area. At number 10 is the Singing Hinnie. Singing Hinnies are traditional griddle cakes. These cakes have similarities to scones and flatbreads with dried fruits. The singing part of their name refers to how they sizzle as they cook and how it sounds like singing. Hinnie is a well-known term of endearment in the northeast. Legend has it that a Newcastle housewife, frustrated by her husband asking when tea would be ready, snapped, "It's singing, Hinnie," and that's what inspired the name, meaning as in it was cooking. It has its roots in the coal mining history of the area. It's made from very simple ingredients such as flour, baking powder, lard, butter, sugar, salts, milk, and a nice helping of currants, and can easily be found across the region. There you have it, 10 nourishing Northumbrian dishes that showcase the area's rich diversity in food and culinary history. If you're planning a trip to the northeast or wider Northumbrian region, if you live there, or if you've always dreamed of going, there is plenty for you to do. There is plenty of culture, sports, and historical sites to choose from. You'll be spoilt for choice on any trip to Northumbria. If you like this video and enjoy our dives into different regions and countries in the UK through their food, wherein we explore their culture, people, and history, then please consider subscribing to the channel. We release new videos every Tuesday. If you live in the northeast to visit it or are planning a trip, please share your stories, comments, thoughts, or concerns down in the comments so we can all discuss the northeast together from an informed approach and also celebrate the area, its dishes and its people. Give us a like if you like the video and share it with your friends so they can learn a little more about Northumbria or the northeast more broadly. Next week we'll be looking at the Peak District in Derbyshire, so look forward to that. And as always, thank you for listening, eat something good today and mind how you go.